Welcome to Giant Ability TV.
Amidst 4th of July, we do well to acknowledge the existence of heroes. They do not, as in ancient times, dwell on the mountain tops. Our heroes are those among us who, in putting aside all regard for themselves, act above and beyond the call of duty, and in so doing, give definition to patriotism and elevate all of us. Ideals such as peace, freedom, justice, opportunity, and individualism are just dreams without someone to turn those ideals into reality. Let's never forget the debt we owe to our fellow citizens. America is the land of the free because we are the home of the brave. David Mahoney. Our leaders in Nigeria, more often than not, are quick at making comparison of negative happenings in the country with those in America, forgetting that it is absurd to compare death with sleep. On the other hand, they seldom compare the slow pace of development in Nigeria with what obtains in the United States of America in terms of the quality of life and the dividend of democracy that are freely assessed by its citizens in the developed countries of the world. The disparity between Nigeria and America cannot be tied solely to nature as much as it is to mindsets and human behavior. Our problems in Nigeria are mostly man-made and have their roots in the lack of ideology and the major reason also for lack of patriotism. Our situation is made worse by the lack of sincerity, which is a problem that pervades all facets of our society and manifests itself in corruption, which as a cankerworm has eaten deep into the fabrics of our society. We do not only lie to one another, we lie to ourselves, and that is what makes our problems intractable. This ugly monster is clearly painted as follows. Truth, falsehood, fire and water lived together. They went out one day to hunt, and they found many cattle. Afterwards, they decided to divide the cattle so that each of them receive his share. But falsehood wanted more for himself, so he went directly to water and said, "You have the power to destroy fire. If you do this, we can take his part of the cattle." Water believed what falsehood said, and he threw himself upon fire and destroyed him. Then falsehood went to truth and said, "Fire is dead. Water has killed him, and it does not deserve to share with us. Let us take the cattle into the mountains for ourselves." So truth and falsehood drove the cattle into the mountains. Water saw them go, and he tried to pursue them, but he found he couldn't run uphill, but only down, and so they escaped. When they arrived at a resting place in the mountains, falsehood turned to truth and said, "Foolish one, I am strong but you are weak. I am the master and you are the servant. Therefore all the cattle shall belong to me." "No," truth said, "I am not your servant. It is I who am strong, and therefore I am the master." And he went forward and fought with falsehood. They struggled back and forth across the mountain without either one destroying the other. So at last they went to the wind and asked him to judge which was right. He listened to their argument, and then he said, "It is this way. Truth is destined to struggle with falsehood. Truth will win, but falsehood will return, and again truth must fight. As long as time, truth must fight with falsehood, because if it does not do so, he is lost forever." As a country, we shall be troubled with the problems of terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping for as long as we fail to fight insincerity and corruption in matters of the protection of lives and property of the citizens by the leaders that we have, who for personal gains and selfish reasons will not be willing to do the needful. It is not enough to come out and declare publicly that no ransom will be paid to kidnappers when the political will to provide functional and meaningful security to the citizens is missing. This only amounts to positive statement without positive and productive effort.
We're aware that it's not just the US that has actually offered. Other countries have also offered to support Nigeria. But what we can tell you is that government is still reviewing these offers, and the position of government will be made known to you. Now, it is true that some of these are happening. We have seen what has happened in Kaduna, in Maiduguri, in Borno State rather, and then in Sokoto. Mr. President has said that this is an unacceptable situation. He is not going to, the government will not condone abductions or kidnappings or any kind of criminality in that direction. We're seeing, of course, this happen, and government is taking very proactive steps, first to mitigate that and also to stop the spread of this apparent, we are seeing some kind of movement by, the more the security agencies are also hitting these targets, the targets of criminals, the more they are pushed to also getting some soft targets. But government is not taking any excuses. The president has directed that security agencies must, as a matter of urgency, ensure that these children and all those who have been kidnapped are brought back in safety, and also in the process to ensure that not a dime is paid for ransom. So it's important to underscore that. No dime, government is not paying anybody any dime, and the government is optimistic that these children and other people that are abducted will be brought back to their families in safety.
Within a short period of 1 month, almost 400 Nigerians, made up of 287 students and pupils of both government secondary school and LEA primary school in Chikun local government in Kaduna State, another 60 male and female, including a nursing mother of a baby of 2 weeks in Kajuru local government in Kaduna State, as well as 15 others in Sokoto State, had been abducted by bandits. The abductors of the 15 Nigerians in Sokoto State are asking for a ransom of 44 trillion, an amount which is above the budget of the entire country for the year 2024, and 150 power bikes, among other things. The question that agitates the minds of Nigerians about the effectiveness of our security agents is about why is it that they always swing into action after crimes of this magnitude have been committed and not been proactive. The answer is not far-fetched. A hungry dog is not different from a mad dog, just as a hungry man is an angry man. Officers of the Nigerian Army, including the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, at different fora complained bitterly, though diplomatically, that the welfare of men and officers of the Nigerian Army is poor, to say the least. The Chief of Defense Staff himself revealed that he is fed with a meager amount of 1,500 naira per day, and we saw another young officer in a video that went viral a couple of months ago, who complained that he could not travel to see his family for the single fact that the cost of transportation to and fro, which was 70,000 naira, was more than his monthly salary of 50,000 naira.
Wow. Nigeria may give me pass as I do 1 year for my degree today. Now they give me pass, make I go and go see my family. My way to as I come up for bush now I reach park. They tell me say from here to my town 35,000. Now I come calculate them. 35,000 going and come back, that is 70,000. And 50,000 now my salary where they pay me for this month. But me I not give option again. I go back to bush.
These are the people that our leaders who are feeding fat on the resources of the country are expecting to go and lay down their lives for them. This, to say the least, is madness and insensitivity. The problem of insecurity is systemic and foundational, and until the current system of government that is operational is turned upside down, it may not be by a military coup, but through other ways and means available. Insecurity will continue and precious lives of the citizens of this country will be lost. Depending and putting our hopes as a country on America in the fight against ourselves is automatically a failure on arrival. Permit me to use this analogy to paint a picture of why we shall continue to lose in any war that is directed at terrorists and bandits in Nigeria without a change of attitude on the part of the leaders. Where you are going, what appears high is low, and what appears low is high. The leader of the sheep trails behind, and he who leads is the follower. Let us check ourselves in the mirror of morality and spirituality if the kind of leaders that we have in the saddle are God-fearing or not. Furthermore, the drama in the National Assembly in the past 1 week where Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi, a PDP member representing Bauchi Central, who was in the eye of the storm as to a large extent, opened up a can of worms in the National Assembly. As Senator Adams Oshiomhole should succinctly describe the saga, and I quote, "Senator Ningi has stripped us naked in the marketplace." However, there can be no other words that can better describe the makeup of the 10th National Assembly other than the words of Senator Oshiomhole.
I want to plead that we must recognize we have the duty to uphold the finest standard of a legislation and defend the integrity of each and every one of us. As I listen to your prayers every day, Mr. Senate President, we talk about showing love to one another, doing those things that will promote the peace, happiness, and unity of our great country. And yet, I am here wondering whether we have exactly come here to do everything that will promote hatred, everything that will promote division, everything that will remind me of my accident or bad play for which I had no vote, I had no contribution. That was the exclusive decision of the God Almighty. It should neither be used to favor me, nor should it be used to disfavor me. So I ask her that after listening to everything, my plea is this. We've already been stripped naked in the market. And closing the door or opening the windows, we cannot now wrap it as if it has not been seen.
There is a wise saying that admonishes that when the fox preaches, one should look to his geese. A leopard cannot change a spot, and this saying applies to the leadership of the National Assembly, and what Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi did was just scratching on the surface, and there is more to come sooner than later. Let me close with this short story as I admonish us to draw important lessons from it. Once a leopard cub wandered away from its home into the grassland where the elephant had grazed. It was too young to know its danger. While the elephants grazed, one of them stepped upon the leopard cub by accident and killed him. Other leopards found the body of the cub soon after, and they rushed to his father to tell him of the tragedy. "Your son is dead," they told him. "We found him in the valley." The father leopard was overcome with grief. "Ah, who has killed him? Tell me so that I can avenge his death." "The elephants have killed him," the other leopard said. "What? The elephants?" The father leopard said with surprise in his voice. "Yes, the elephants," they repeated. He thought for a minute. "No, it is not the elephants. It is the goats who have killed him. Yes, the goats. It is they who have done this awful thing to me." So the father leopard went out in a fit of terrible rage and found a herd of goats grazing in the hills, and he slaughtered many of them in revenge. And even now, when a man is wronged by someone stronger than himself, he often avenges himself upon someone who is weaker than himself. On a final note, the distinguished members of the National Assembly of Nigeria, I mean the 10th Assembly, should please tell Nigerians how we have wronged them for us to deserve heartless and ungodly representation by them. Let them tell us if it was a crime to vote them in as our representatives, even as we await the projects that they promised to execute with the 500 million naira they have each received for their constituency projects. Wonders shall not cease in Nigeria. But as a bird that wanders away from a nest, so is a man that wanders away from his place. Thank you so much, our viewers, for your encouragement. Consider it necessary also to subscribe to our channel and share this video. Until it is over, it cannot be said to be over. You are the best. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you for watching.